Good morning.
Hello, Sarah. Good to
Hello.
see you today.
Good to see you too.
Man, time is flying by. A week ago, we were in San Antonio. Now back in our offices.
Well, we were in San Antonio, and the week before that, we were together in your office.
That's right. Oh my gosh. See, it's just like time flies. We forget what's going on.
I know.
But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time at High Tech. A lot of good things going on over there. And it was great to see all the new technology, make some connections. We got to party with some fun people. It was a good time. What was the name of the place? We had a good time at this place called the Aztec in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Aztec. It was
shout out to Ruckus, because Ruckus hosted the party and they hired the Spasmatics. Now,
great.
As somebody who's been in LA for a long time, I'm familiar with the Spasmatics because they're from Southern California, but they play all over. They basically are an 80s cover band and they're fantastic. And so they were playing. And by the way, I was dripping sweat by the end of the night. You actually left before I left.
Well, I had to go to it was like midnight. And I was like, I got to go be productive. And good morning to Ceci C.
Yeah.
We were just talking about you backstage, Ceci. I'll fill you in after.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lou. Good to see you out there. But yeah, a lot of fun. Aztec was good. Muse had a great party that we were at as well. So great to hang out with the team at Muse with who we were at. With Richard and their COO. I don't want to say the wrong
Michael.
name. Michael was great too. We had a lot of fun. So great time in High Tech. But now we're back in our offices, making things happen. We're both very busy. We were working from those parties, everybody. That's grit. That's what the owners and entrepreneurs do.
Steve really wants to share this story. Please, Steve, go ahead and just let everybody know what you saw.
I want to say, if you have Sarah and your client is Sarah's, she's going to do a great job. We were in the middle of a giant party, Spasmatics playing loud music, giant club. As she's dancing, she's figuring out solutions for her clients and making things happen. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do when you own your own business. So great job, great hospitality from Sarah.
You definitely looked at me. We're like, you need to get off your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
It was an important day. It was a big day. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. We love going to conferences. So if you have a conference coming up and you need some moderators or anything like that, let Sarah and I know. We'll make sure it's a great one.
Exactly. We're a great package deal.
For sure. But listen, before we jump in, we're doing such a great job. And all of you listeners and viewers, we always want to give you a shout out for supporting our show because, hey, we've got sponsors now. And I'm excited to read this one because this episode is brought to you by Cloudbeds. Cloudbed unifies your operations, distribution, guest experience, and revenue marketing. And it's all in one place. Powered by Signals, hospitality's first foundation AI model. So whether you're trying to drive more direct bookings, cut training time, or finally get your data working for you, Cloudbeds is built for what's next. So learn more at cloudbeds.com/GMH. And that's cloudbeds.com/GMH. Go check them out right now after the show.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Look at those ad reads. Getting good.
I know you're getting really good at that. That you can have them, all of them. So why don't we go ahead and go into our first topic? Let's get into the news because I feel like we've got a lot to cover here.
Yes,
okay, so our first one is how Hyatt's lifestyle chief does a portfolio cleanup. So Amar Lalvani, the former CEO of Standard International, he sold the company to Hyatt for $335 million in 2024. Now runs all of Hyatt's lifestyle brands as president and creative director of their lifestyle group. He's been doing what he calls a sort of like portfolio cleanup. So basically reviewing each hotel deal case by case. And by the way, he's literally reviewing it specifically like one-on-one. And he basically is confirming, do they have a clear business plan? Is it the right building quality, the right location, all of that. And yeah, so it's been interesting what it's so great to see that they're being so hands-on with this. But I want to hear from you, Steve, because I know you're smiling.
Listen, I'm smiling because, I love what Hyatt's doing. I like a lot of their brands. I'm not sure how much I can say because I do a lot of consulting work for hotels. So I want to make sure I say this the right way. I got to work with one of the Hyatt hotels in the country.
Cool.
and see some of the changes that were being made while the purchase from Standard was happening. And you get to see a lot of different personalities start to mix at the corporate levels, where Standard was saying, all the Standard people came into Hyatt, say, hey, this is how things need to happen. And the Hyatt people pushing back, that's not how things are done, which caused a little bit of, friction at the beginning. But now I think I can see that they're starting to finally get their path, and that they're trying to really create this lifestyle brand. And we talk about it all the time about, you keep saying, what is a lifestyle brand? And I like to see that they're starting to categorize this by what they said is like a feeling, right? It's like, what are guests looking for, right? So Standard has the artists and all these kind of cool hip people coming to it. The Thompson, what are we looking for? Maybe you just left your Wall Street meeting, but you want to go see, something cool in that hotel. So they're trying to categorize it by lifestyle that you actually have versus just making a cool looking place. But does that translate into bookings and dollars is what's going to be interesting for me to see. Because in the article, they mentioned that they pulled out of a hotel here in Miami because it wasn't up to their standard. And I heard from the owners that it was the other way around, right? So that they didn't want that brand in there because it didn't match what they were trying to do. So it's interesting to see, how that news comes out and what it really matters. But in the end, a hotel has to make money. And I was in some of the meetings where the owner's like, this is going to cost me more. There is no return on investment to this cool lifestyle thing that you want to do, which is very cool. And on the other side is saying, well, you need to have this cool thing on your hotel property because this is what drives your name and getting people onto the property. So it's an interesting mix when you're starting to really create something that's a vibe and a feeling, which is like very artistic versus, hey, here's what my P&L says, right? I need to deliver on this. So it's an interesting balance of what they're creating. But I'm cheering them on because if they can create unique experiences, I'm all for it.
Well, and I think, Well, what you described, I think, that is the challenge because a lot of these properties were more independent hotels. So they're kind of used to having the free reign to do whatever they want. And that is also kind of what made them successful because they could play outside of the traditional boxes. They could do things differently. And obviously at a certain point that it might be attractive for them to be under a bigger flag. So then how do they still maintain their independence, their uniqueness while now being part of a bigger brand? So, I mean, we're not just seeing this that is just going to be the challenge, I think, with any of these independent properties as they decide to go under a bigger flag. So it is that tug of war. I would call it a vibe tug of war, really. It's like, how do we just stay authentic to who we are, yet while still on the back end, okay, maybe we can be absorbed by, or at least like under the umbrella of this other company. But they do have a new brand. I actually thought this was a kind of a cool description. The Manor.
We talked about
opened in New York Soho neighborhood, which is, they're kind of putting this as like Lalvani's passion project, which I like. And I like how they design it to feel like I actually want next time I'm in New York, I have to go by, but it's got private, discreet, all big fan of that. Members club lounge to feel soundproof rooms, a hidden bar, even an aperitivo hour, which I love. But again, like how cool that they're playing into that Soho vibe. And it's great because again, at the end of the day, there are so many properties everywhere, but there's more and more people traveling and there's always going to need to be more beds. So how can these different hotels actually provide something that's unique and cool that also ultimately gets people to come back and opt to come back and stay with them?
That is the key, right? Because an owner of a hotel, as I'm starting to get into that world, like, yes, I want a cool vibe. I want so many great things to happen in that place, but you also have to deliver and pay the mortgage and the investors and all the other things, which is an interesting pressure play from both sides. But I did get to walk around with some people in these lifestyle hotels, and they had some cool things where they have a vibe checker, like what is the correct lighting setting? What is the right beats per minute for music during different times of the day? It's all different things that happen there. And I'll talk to not Hyatt, but at other lifestyle hotels where they have really interesting people working there that may not have hospitality backgrounds, but they're just people that people want to be around, and they just happen to be hanging out in those hotels. So it's interesting to see how this continues to evolve. And they said their biggest part of growth is going to be, looks like in India, right? So they were saying in India, there's really no lifestyle hotels set up there. So they're going to make a big push into India. But it's going to be cool to see what they continue to create. So I'm cheering them on. I want them to do really well. So let's see if they can get their standards and SOPs together on that, because it's hard to have SOPs when you're creating a vibe right? But you have to be able to execute it in multiple places. So it's cool to see what they'll do.
The standard at the standard.
The standard at the standard, and we don't have standards in a lot of things. But listen, I love the standard. I'm there on Miami Beach all the time. I go there all the time. It's one of my favorite little coffee shops. So I'm there all the time.
It was a jam in LA, and then now it's taken over, so it's coming back. But yeah, great fun brand. Why don't we go into our next sponsor?
Are you ready, or should I do this one? I think I'm going to handle this one.
Okay.
Our next sponsor, everybody, we got the second one today. We have 3 today, which is amazing. Before we move on, a quick shout out to our next sponsor, Built. They're helping restaurants and hotel F&B teams better understand their guests and create more personalized experiences that drive repeat visits. If you care about loyalty and guest experience, it's worth checking out. So head to joinbuilt.com/GMH. And that's joinbuilt.com/GMH. Make sure to check them out.
Yes. Well done. I just love, you could just do all the reads. You're so good at that.
Got it.
All right, cool. Well, going on to our next topic here. So Marriott is entering the branded apartment rentals space. So this is cool. Steve, you're going to be chiming in a lot on this.
Yep.
So Marriott is getting into the rental apartment business for the first time. W Apartments, Cleveland. What a place to start. Opening in late 2027. The Erie View Tower. They're going to let renters sign leases that include 24/7 concierge, doorman, bellman services, W branded events, and access to the hotel amenities, including spa, fitness, rooftop. This is distinct, by the way, from Marriott's sort of existing temporary rentals program, where residents owners rent out units for short hotel style stays. So W Apartments Cleveland is for long-term tenants. Chime in here, because what I actually don't even know if this is out there, but I feel like, as far as hotel residences, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Miami might have the highest concentration of hotel residences. If I'm not
everywhere.
It's everywhere, way more than in other places that I see. So, yeah, chime. I mean, I know you've got a lot to say on that.
So it's interesting, this play, and I want you to kind of help me understand, because I started reading the article. I didn't finish it yet. Sorry, everybody. But here we have the St. Regis is opening their branded apartments here in Miami very shortly. It's under construction. The Standard Hotel in Midtown Miami just opened. We have Ritz-Carlton residences for a long time here. We have every kind of brand that you can think of. The Edition is opening next door to my office, Edition residences. So we talked about this a lot, and it was something I really saw coming 3 years ago when we first started doing this podcast. Was people want to live that lifestyle. They like that brand. They want to live it. We even see it with the biggest nightclub in the country, 11 Miami, just opened 2 50-story towers that sold out as soon as they opened, that they're about to launch. So people want to live in this brand lifestyle, whether it's the Porsche Tower, the Bugatti Tower, the whatever it might be. There's a tower for everybody and everyone's kind of lifestyle out there. But here's the challenge, is for owners of these things. They're sold a dream of, hey, you buy the W Apartments in Cleveland, you can put it into our short-term or hotel pool. You're going to make your money that way while you're not using it if you want. But then they're getting charged such high fees from these buildings that they can't cover their mortgage like they were promised by the person selling it to them. And we're seeing that a lot here in Miami, which I feel for these people purchasing, because they're buying from a lot of out of country money, from Colombia, from Argentina, from Russia, or not from Russia, from Eastern Europe, putting money into the United States, buying these places, calling my company up saying, help, I can't make enough money. What do I need to fix? And just, hey, some of these towers don't have that return on investment. But if you're just using it as a place you want to live, use all the fun amenities to be a great place and make a little extra cash on the side, they're great places to be. And they do have great staff and the standards, and you feel special in a lot of these buildings. Like, they know your coffee order when you're coming downstairs, and we'll have it ready for you as your car comes out of LA, and a lot of fun things like that. So I have a lot more to say. We could do a whole episode on it, but I'm curious to see how W Apartments separates itself from the others. I know this is for long-term tenants. They got into short-term a little bit with Sonder. They have Apartments by Marriott. So they're trying to find this place for everybody in the show. Or in their,
I mean, I would opt for that for sure if it made sense in the right place. Like, that would definitely be. I'm because I'm actually a fan of like apartment condo living.
Yeah, that's all I've done since 2008. I love it.
Yeah, I have no desire to mow a lawn ever again in my life
Yeah.
or do whatever else you have to do with a home, figure out
Yeah.
the plumbing. I don't know. So like,
Yeah.
it's nice to have these options.
The key is finding out, if you're an owner, what the association fees will be and how they will
Yeah,
increase, because that's how you're paying for all the amenities and the
of
staff at
course.
the hotel residence. So someone's got to staff the spa and the pool deck and roll those towels for you and be at valet. So
Mhm.
some of those association fees can get really high on top of the
Of
mortgage that you
course.
have. But
Yeah.
I think Marriott's finding a really good way to do it. So I'm curious to see what they continue to push into, because now they are looking to do standalone residences with no attached hotel. So
Mhm.
it's working for a lot of affluent residential markets where demand wouldn't support a luxury hotel on its own, but they want to have
Yeah.
that lifestyle in those hotels.
It's interesting because it makes sense totally for the Miami market. Um, g- New York, I could see that being, I mean, New York, it does well. Los Angeles, it's been interesting. It has to be in the right place. I mean, obviously, like places like Beverly Hills and Century City, that makes sense. But other parts of Los Angeles, I think it ends up being a very hard push just due to the nature and the demographics and the layout of the city. It builds
Mhm.
out, not up necessarily.
Yep.
Uh, so I mean, it's great. But then, hey, look, we've got Cleveland. And I actually think about what was it? I was in Cleveland and I've spent some time downtown, and that makes sense there. So I'd be actually interested to see in what secondary markets
Mhm.
um these type of properties do well in, because you do, like, I could see this actually doing well in like Dallas, for example, and the downtown area of Dallas, where you've got people that want to still have that proximity of the downtown area, but maybe a different type of lifestyle. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
What I like about this too for Marriott, they're just so smart in this asset light kind of market, right? We talked about their credit
yeah,
cards a couple of weeks ago, and this continues that, where they're just getting a fee for these projects, right? And so, you have to meet their brand standards, but it's asset light. They're not owning the building, they're not owning the ground. It's
hmm
not their P&L, but they're getting a fee every time someone sells or stays there. So really cool to
yeah,
see what they're doing.
yeah.
Continue building Marriott. We love watching the business side. They have a lot of smart people working there of how they can continue bringing value to the shareholders.
Yes, they do. Well, should we continue on here?
Let's do it.
I'll do this one.
You got this.
Okay.
Don't get nervous there. Don't get nervous. Third sponsor
Goodness.
of the show.
Oh, all right. So this episode is brought to you by StayFi. StayFi helps short-term rental operators build direct guest relationships through branded Wi-Fi portals, email marketing, and guest data tools that turn one-time bookers into repeat guests. Start growing your direct booking revenue today at stayfi.com/Good Morning Hospitality. That's stayfi.com/Good Morning Hospitality.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. Very
Shout out to
cool.
them. And I see Steven Sinclair jumping in with a nice
Yes.
question. I'm happy
Oh.
to. So he said, would be interested in understanding how these models with residences affect RevPAR models, work on a per property basis where the residents and hotels share the same location. Well, I can tell you that if the hotel truly controls the room product, they do a good job because they handle each owner's place um, just as part of the hotel pool, right? The problem and the challenge comes in, you have some of these short-term buildings or short-term rental buildings with a hotel that they don't have to be in the hotel pool. And then you have people that start dropping their rates. So all of a sudden you could stay at, I won't name any of these buildings, but a luxury building that
Yeah.
has a hotel drop the rate to $99 a night for their 2-bedroom unit because they're trying to fill it because they don't know how to revenue manage their own place. That
Mm.
destroys the hotel because, like, all right, I'll go stay in that $99 a night 2-bedroom versus this regular hotel room that's $499 a night. And so that's where the challenge really comes in,
Oh,
Stephen, is when you have hotels competing with a ton of short-term rental owners that didn't put their unit into the hotel pool because it was too expensive, because a lot of the hotel pools charge 50% or more of every
mhm.
nightly rental. So it's an interesting place. So if you're in that game on the owner side, control the hotel pool. It's just going to be interesting to see. I like that Lou's here just for the name the brand quiz. Whose brand is it anyway? Coming up
Ooh,
soon, Lou.
ooh, that'll be fun. No.
All right,
Um,
sorry. Next story. Hope that helps, Stephen.
all right. Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you for addressing that. Stephen, thank you for joining us. And it was great seeing you last week, by the way. So that was super fun. Okay, so World Cup week 1. I was actually dying to cover this. So because your girl was a big World Cup fan.
Yeah.
Revenue up. I've learned so much. I've learned so much. Don't ask me how to actually play football/soccer. But aside from that, so 1 week into World Cup, RevPAR in host markets is up anywhere from 24 to 133% during the first 3 match days. 9 out of 6 U.S. host markets saw occupancy decline versus last year, but hotels are making more money by charging more. So they're charging more for their rooms, but they're not necessarily filling more rooms. I thought this was I feel like I've been on like World Cup watch for weeks, just because I also do the Skift Daily Briefing. So that we do cover that a lot there. If you're a fan and a nerd and wanting to find out these numbers, come join me there, because I'm definitely covering all of these numbers. But it was very much doom and gloom at the beginning. I thought what was interesting is that I think a lot of hotels were really hoping for people to come make like a vacation out of it. And what they're really finding is that people are coming in for the game day or the night before. And then there were these little bumps of as far as like, occupancy, but more so what they were charging. I actually was in San Francisco, didn't realize that I was there during a World Cup game, and I was staying at a Citizen M, and it was funny because one of the nights the room was like $725, and if you know anything about Citizen M room, that's like a lot for that type of room.
Yeah.
And I think the night before, which I was going to get the hotel room from the night before, so it was ready for me when I flew in from High Tech, and it was like $1,300 the night before, and I was like, "What is going on?" Absolutely not. I couldn't do that. And so, but yeah, to show you, like, and then the prices went down to $300 a night or $250 a night.
Mhm.
So it's wild to see how much it's changed, or it changes.
A lot. Well, listen, I love watching the World Cup. I know that some people might say that they've seen too much World Cup. But I would say
Will in the background.
I love watching it. It's the one time I actually watch football, soccer during the year, or every 4 years, and I get to really cheer on USA. And Paul's saying people are extending their travel, but they're not necessarily staying in the market, but using the match as a launch pad. I agree with that. But I love watching it. And I can say from Miami, I can say from us, I'll share some of our stats. We're up 67% over last year just because of this. And we manage mostly, vacation rentals as we build out our first boutique hotel. And we're doing great. And what's cool to see is that when people are coming to our city here in Miami, like Scotland, man, I give you guys a big shout out. The Tartan Army has taken over our city in a good way. Like,
do you guys have enough beer? Because like, didn't Boston run out of beer?
And we were a party city, and they took down all the beer at some of the local famous locations that we have. It was bringing in emergency beer orders to make sure that they're happy. But yesterday they were marching down South Beach, thousands of people down Ocean Drive, and just having a great time. And it just shows that I don't know if we said this last show, or I don't know where we heard this, but it really is like the closest to world peace as possible, because everyone is out there having a good time, cheering on their countries, cheering on a sport, and really, really, I'm enjoying seeing that happen. But I can see for hotels, look, when they were making the budgets, a year ago, was like, all right, we're going to shoot for these gigantic numbers.
Sure.
But the numbers were just way, way too high, like the highest they've ever been. But the hotels are still doing better than they have ever done in this time of month of June, which is usually a slower month for here in South Florida, I can speak to at least. So for us in our world, which is mostly vacation rentals, which is holding a lot more people, we're way, way up, and couldn't be more happy with the performance.
Well, that's what the numbers have always been showing, is that like short-term rentals, like, and all of, have been doing better than traditional hotels specifically for this. And I will go and make a cultural commentary, which I love that you just brought up, but which I find really interesting, because I'm sure you guys have probably seen online the different people that they're on social media, and the idea of like, they're experiencing America for the first time. I should say the US, because America is much bigger than the US. But they're experiencing the US for the first time, and they're documenting it, and like the things that they're finding so fun. And what I love about that,
I will spit out my coffee, Steven Sinclair.
Ranch dressing. Yeah, exactly. He knows what I'm talking. They've discovered ranch dressing, all of this stuff. But I think in a time where I feel like if you're living within the United States, I think we can all agree to this. It's just been a very tense time for quite some time. And sometimes it's like, oh, I wish we could do things better or this. And then we're hard on ourselves. We're always going to be hardest on those closest to us. And obviously, I think that also goes for, our feelings towards the country or how things are done or this or that, whatever. And I think that this has been a wonderful reminder that, as other people come to our country and they're experiencing certain things, like the things that we maybe take for granted, like ranch dressing or Buc-ee's or whatever else that people are doing.
Waffle House. Yeah, everyone's
Waffle House. Like, I mean, I roll my eyes at Waffle House. But I also grew up like down the street of whatever. Anyway, but it's heartwarming to see how much it like tickles other people. And so I think if anything, as you were saying, this is a wonderful reminder to bring all of ourselves, like bring us together from countries around the world, but then also like a reminder of the things that do make us unique in the United States. So it does kind of warm my heart seeing all of that. There you go. That's I
do love seeing it. Good job, Sarah. And I want to give a shout out to all the stadiums in the US that have all the hospitality programs, because everyone's in our stadiums. Like, all right, the stadiums here in the US are like amazing, the big time, the free refills. But before we go on to the next story, I just want to see who you all are cheering for. Look, I know USA is who I'm cheering for. We'll see if they have a shot. My backup is Argentina because they got Lionel Messi, who plays here in Miami and is playing like a superstar. So I'd like to see who you're cheering on in the comments here. Just put the country you're cheering on. And also, who do you think is going to win it all? Put it in the comments as we go on to the next story.
Do not ask me. I don't even know who's playing.
Oh, my
God. But I did just buy tickets to the finals yesterday. So that was fun.
That's crazy. I know that.
Yeah, if anybody who's paying attention or wanting tickets to the finals, I can let you know because I have been monitoring them. Ended up getting tickets about 25,000 each. We got a 3-pack, which is always just detrimental to numbers. Like if you can, always do a 2-pack or a 4-pack. 4-packs at max, 4-pack for household, 4 tickets. But 3, and it's interesting because the kind of corner, probably 24th row. But I saw some pretty awesome tickets that were right there along. Oh my God, I don't even know. Is it the center line? What is that? What do you call that in football? I don't know.
Go Sports, the middle line, center line, right?
The center line.
I don't know all the lines. Yeah.
Center court in basketball. Anyway, center line. It was probably about like 18 rows up. Those were going for $35K a ticket. And it's like, honestly, if you're looking at it and you want to have like a really great visibility as far as the playing field, those were awesome tickets. So there you go. I just gave you guys a pro tip, but seats going out there pretty much from 15,000 to, obviously you can go higher, but you can get some decent tickets from 15 to 25K per ticket if you're in the market.
I'm looking now because I know Portugal, Colombia, that's the big one here in Miami. And they were the cheapest. Again, it went down a little bit, but still the cheapest ticket was like $4,500 a ticket. So
I also found that out of all the sites, Vivid Seats had the most availability and like the best like pricing structure. So there you go. Give everybody some free knowledge.
Look at this, Paul. America, France. Well, let's see what happens.
May we?
Let's see. I'm curious. I think we got it. Some great games ahead. It's going to be fun to watch, but we have another story. We're going to pass this one because we're going.
Okay, let's do this and go straight to our.
We got to go to whose brand is it anyway? Our favorite part of the show. And whose brand is it anyway? We will be showing you a sub-brand of a hotel, and you all have to guess who is the parent company. So, do we have our graphic ready?
No, we don't, but that's okay. We can do the whose brand is it
anyway? Brought to you by no one yet. If you want to be the sponsor, let us know. It's a great segment and a fan favorite. Lou only watches this to see and play this game. Are we ready? Put up the sub-brand, Will.
Oh, he said he doesn't have a. Oh, okay.
No, he does. Okay. Garner. That's not a real hotel. Let me think. Garner Hotels. Let's see. I don't know. I'm 2 for 2 the last 2 weeks. And I keep just going with the same one. But Garner, I'm going to say, we talked about Hyatt today. I'm going to say that's one of these Hyatt lifestyle brands. I'm going to say Hyatt.
I'll say Accor.
Accor. All right, everybody. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Those are very fast seconds.
And 1. Who brand is it anyway? Let's see. Garner Hotels is owned by IHG. Look at that. Sneaky coming in. All of your guesses are wrong. Come on back next week for a chance to win. Whose brand is it anyway? Sponsored by someone soon.
Win.
IHG. Let me look at Garner. Let me see here.
Yeah, let's take a look at this brand. Let's describe.
Everyone watching live, let's take a look at Garner Hotels. I know there's Garner.
Has anybody stayed at a Garner Hotels? No, because you would have probably known this.
Yeah,
Garner
Hotels, IHG. We embrace the personality of each hotel and the people who bring that to life. No matter the journey, Garner Hotels makes it possible. All right. Look at them here.
Cutes.
Locations. Let's see where we're staying. Asia, Europe, North America. And it looks like a lot of different cities across the Northeast, Southeast. Wow, they're in a lot of places that are expenses. So not in Miami yet.
Oh, wow. So Garner, what was it? They came out a year ago. They were IHG's new budget concept, huh? I think.
Very cool. That's exactly right.
Very cool.
All right. Shout out to Garner. And Gasson, great. I like that you're watching live with us and guessing. He guessed Intercontinental correctly. So great job. Wow, Sarah, another show.
Another show in the books.
And listeners and viewers, you may not notice I'm extra shiny today. There's no AC in our office, and I'm in Miami. So I'm sacrificing for you all. Grit, like we talked at the top of the show. That's one of the big things that we have here at GMH. Carlos had never heard of that brand. Neither did we. We both got it wrong, but now we know them, and we're giving a shout out to all the great people that work at Garner. Listen, Sarah, this was a great show. I can't believe the time flew by. You know,
it always flies by with you.
No, same right back at you, Sarah. We shared a lot of great things. Listeners and viewers, if you haven't yet, go hit that subscribe button. We always love seeing you do that and growing our audience. We love when you watch live and get to interact with you. And it was so great meeting so many of you on the conference floor. So many people came up to us. We're like, hey, we watch you all the time. And it was just a great thing to see. So we appreciate you very much. But listen, until next week. Stay hospitable. Oh, that was terrible, Sarah. We gotta get on time.
Dude, this Wi-Fi. It's never us.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.